Hi, so today we are going to review another keyboard. Papa serious lah, review keyboard lagi. Tapi seriously though, this keyboard actually has some unique features compared to the other keyboards I reviewed before. But it's okay, enjoy the unboxing first. Okay, now onto the keyboard itself. I guess we start with the price. This is called the SK or Skyloong 64XS. I know, that's the most China name ever. If you buy in the US, it's called the Epomaker SK64S. The keyboard currently retails for around 300 ringgit Malaysia via Shopee or Lazada, or around 80 US dollar from Amazon. There is also the grey white or the pink white version. Mine is actually the black grey version, which I think in my opinion looks the best. Now speaking of looks, this is a 64 key keyboard instead of the usual 60% format. I think it's a very sleek looking keyboard. I think that all of the keyboard I own, this is by far the best looking. Also, this keyboard has a very unique keycap, which is actually a DSA profile instead of the usual OEM profile keycaps. So I'm not going to go into a deep dive into the madness that is keycap profile. You guys can Google it. But know that a DSA profile means generally that the keys of all the rows are the same and lower compared to the usual OEM profile. Another good feature of this keyboard is it uses a detachable USB Type-C cable, so it's easily compatible with any custom cables. This keyboard, like all other mechanical keyboard, can easily remove and replace the keycap with any cherry type OEM stem. But on top of that, just like my previous TechWare Phantom Elite that I reviewed, this keyboard is also hot swappable. But unfortunately, unlike the TechWare, which you can swap with any 3-pin switch, this sadly is only compatible with an optical switch. So your choices are limited. Now on to the optical switch itself. I would say that it feels like a normal blue switch, but it's definitely more smoother. It also feels lighter than a normal blue switch. However, it is nowhere near as good as the click bar switch from here. You can listen for yourself. Another important feature of this keyboard is that it has Bluetooth. Setting up is also easy. Just press the function and spacebar to switch on the Bluetooth, followed by function X, Z or C. Each of the letter is for one device. For me, Z is to my PC and X is to my phone. Switch on the Bluetooth on your device, laptop or phone, and select the SK64 keyboard. And voila, now it's connected. Granted, as good as this keyboard is, it faces stiff competition against the cheaper rk61, which is almost half the price. So really, is it worth it to pay 2 times the price for this keyboard? So we shall find out. Now the first thing you can see the difference of quality between the two keyboards is the keycap itself. The rk61, although comes with a double shot ABS keycap, is nowhere near as good as the PBT dye sublimated keycaps on the SK61. You can see that the SK61 keycap is much more thicker and more solid. It doesn't flex even under pressure. The legends on the keycap are also nicer. The second difference in quality, which is actually surprised me, is actually the case itself. I thought plastic case is just plastic case, all is the same. But as you can see, the SK64 clearly has a much more thicker and solid case compared to the slightly more thinner and flimsy plastic looking of the rk61. Another advantage is of course this is a 64 key layout, which means it comes with a dedicated arrow key and a dedicated delete key. I think this is the main reason why I switched from the N Pro and the rk61 to this keyboard. This is compared to the SK61, in which if you want to use the arrow key, you have to press the function button. This also applies the same for the delete key. For me, having no evo keys and a dedicated delete key is a major inconvenience, especially if you're into video editing. Another reason why the SK64 is superior is that because it has a much larger battery. This allows so that you can use the wireless capability for a longer period without having to recharge. Another advantage of the SK64 is that although both has Bluetooth, the SK64 has a 5.1 Bluetooth, which in my opinion is much more stable and is lag free. Now on to the first advantage of the RK61, the dedicated on-off switch. This is much better compared to the moronic SK64 in which you have to press function and spacebar to switch off the keyboard. Another advantage of the RK61 compared to the more expensive keyboard is that I think the RGB is slightly brighter. Some say it's because of the keycap, but I don't think so. I think the RGB itself, the LED itself, is actually brighter on the RK61. I mean, however, this is where the RK61 surprised me. Have a listen. I was so shocked when comparing the two stabilizer of the keyboard, but I do suspect the RK61 feels better because it's factory looped. However, as I comparing it stock, the SK64 definitely has a more rattly stabilizer. It's significantly worse. So at the end of the day, what do I think about the keyboard? I think the keyboard, the SK64 is actually, for me, I think it's worth it. Although it's 2 times the price, you are getting a better quality keyboard. And then I do feel that after starting video editing, I really need the arrow keys and the delete key. I actually tried a full size TKL keyboard before I bought the TechWare Phantom Elite, but I find that I don't really like the TKL format anymore. I think that it's a bit it looks old fashioned. That's the main reason. That's why I like the 60% format. Anyway, however, I do feel that in terms of value, the RK61 is still the best value 60% keyboard. If you want a good mechanical keyboard 60%, you want to dabble your feet into the smaller size keyboard, get the RK61. But if you're like me, I do find the SK64 is actually the perfect keyboard except for the key switch, because I do wish that it comes with like a kill click bar type of what do you call it, the click bar style switch. In terms of the rattly stabilizer, I don't think it's really an issue. The only thing is that because I haven't had time to to open the keyboard to loop the stabilizer. If you're willing to mod, I'm sure you can get the SK64 to sound as good as the RK61. Okay, anyway, enough of my rambling. If you find this info useful and you like to see this type of content, do consider to leave a like and subscribe this video. And I'll see you guys next time.